Now on GMU at 6, a historic day in Washington. Joe Biden will become America's next president. See the heavy security in place for his inauguration.
Live from Utah's first TV station, Good Morning Utah at 6 starts now.
Good morning, Utah. I'm Brian Carlson.
And I'm Sarah Martin. It is 6 a.m. on this Wednesday. Today begins a new chapter in American politics. Joe Biden will take the oath of office to become the 46th president of the United States. This is a live look at our nation's capital, where that ceremony will begin in just a couple of hours. This comes 2 weeks after pro-Trump supporters stormed those steps to prevent today's transfer of power.
And we have team coverage of the big event. ABC4's Jared Giacchini is live from the Utah State Capitol, where our state is preparing for possible protests surrounding the inauguration. But we begin with ABC's Elizabeth Schulze, live in Washington, covering the events there in our nation's capital. Elizabeth?
Good morning. Well, it's been 2 weeks since rioters stormed this building, and now the Capitol, where we are standing, is a fortress. The priority here today is a peaceful transfer of power as President-elect Joe Biden prepares to take the oath of office. In an inauguration unlike any other, Joe Biden is set to become the 46th president of the United States. The president-elect opening his inaugural events with a solemn ceremony at the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. 400 lights to honor the more than 400,000 American lives lost in the pandemic. A sobering reminder of the crisis facing a divided nation as he takes office.
To heal, we must remember.
The president-elect will start his day at church, joined by congressional leaders from both parties. Today there will be no parade or inaugural balls. Instead of crowds, 200,000 flags will wave from the National Mall. Sources tell ABC News Biden will project a message of unity in his inaugural address. Speaking from the same sacred place that was stormed by pro-Trump rioters exactly 2 weeks ago. The Capitol is now surrounded by armed Guard members, barricades, and checkpoints. 25,000 National Guard members on hand to ensure a peaceful transfer of power. In a farewell video, President Trump wished Biden well without naming him.
This week we inaugurate a new administration and pray for its success.
The president spent his final hours at the White House issuing a slew of pardons, including to former advisor Steve Bannon. Trump will break 150 years of tradition by not attending the inauguration. But Biden and Harris will be joined by former Presidents Obama, Clinton, and Bush after the swearing in to lay a wreath at Arlington National Cemetery's Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. The former vice president will return to the White House this evening as commander-in-chief, prepared to issue a series of executive orders undoing some of Trump's signature policies.
That was ABC's Elizabeth Schulze reporting. Soon-to-be Vice President Kamala Harris will be sworn in using a Bible from the Supreme Court's first black justice, Thurgood Marshall.
Here in Utah, state leaders are preparing for possible protests surrounding today's inauguration. So what can we expect? ABC4's Jared Giacchini live at our state capitol with this story. Good morning, Jared.
Good morning. Well, there's always beefed up security during the first week of the legislature, but due to the governor's executive order, both UHP and the Utah National Guard are on standby in case protesters break out after President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration. Now take a look at this video from over the weekend of a smaller demonstration. Officials are preparing this afternoon for protests which are planned at all 50 state capitals from Utah to Washington, D.C. We have a heightened security. Local law enforcement agencies are preparing for armed protesters. During an ABC4 News town hall, we sat down with Utah Senator Mitt Romney and Representative Chris Stewart discussing where our country goes from here under Biden's administration.
What can happen is what's happened in other nations that have faced crisis or a decline or division, and that is great leaders.
That we could work with this president on, and I think that would assure the American people that there are areas of common interest and that Washington isn't so broken that there's no hope of ever accomplishing anything anymore.
While it's unclear Senator Romney's inauguration schedule, Representative Stewart said he wanted to attend the inauguration in D.C., but says he and his wife are exposed to COVID-19 and he is taking the necessary precautions. Now, still a lot of uncertainty surrounding what will happen here at the Capitol, but we do have heightened security, and a lot of these measures the Utah Highway Patrol says could be implemented moving forward. Now, coming up next, we will talk impeachment. Representative Stewart decided not to impeach the president in the House, but now that those articles of impeachment are going to the Senate, it's now up to Senator Romney to decide, and we'll have more on that. Reporting live, Jared Jotnany, ABC 4 News.
All right, thank you, Jared. And we, of course, are covering the inauguration all morning here on Good Morning Utah. Later this hour, we'll talk live with Utah's Hinckley Institute of Politics about what we can expect from the Biden administration. Then we'll talk with former Utah Congressman Ben McAdams. He's attending today's inauguration. He'll join us live from Washington to talk about the security surrounding today's big event.
All right, it's time to check our weather. Erica, we've got a good one out there today.
I know. I'm so excited. This has been the pick of the week. I've been so excited about this. And we're halfway to the weekend, Sarah, so I think it's absolutely ideal for Inauguration Day, right?
Perfect.
Why not? Perfect. So a live look outside over downtown Salt Lake City. I am loving this right now. The skies are clearing up. The winds are calming down, ranging anywhere between about 7 to 10 miles per hour here locally in Salt Lake City. But for the most part, a weak area of high pressure is starting to develop. So conditions for today are going to be pretty nice for everybody. Here's a look at your weather outlook. Remember, this is our 500 millibar chart. We have a fair weather Wednesday as a weak area of high pressure develops, clearing showers for southern Utah. Really what we're seeing would be remnants of what we saw overnight. Southern Utah, you guys are certainly going to clear up very quickly. A mix of sun and clouds for you, Washington County and Kane County, along with San Juan County. In the meantime, your air quality, some of you are seeing issues for today, including the Uinta Basin, Utah County, farther south, no issues for Iron County or Washington County. So that's some good news there. Oftentimes that's what I'm looking for, right? Especially when we're talking about a ridge of high pressure and the potential for an inversion to develop. In the meantime, here's a look at an incident. Utah 71, 700 east, southbound, 2 lanes blocked at Wilson Avenue. This is all we have right now, but we'll keep you updated on that. In the meantime, back to you.
Thank you, Erica. New overnight, the Salt Lake City School District sending middle and high school students back to the classroom. The 5-hour-long board meeting ended late last night with the board voting 6-1 to return to in-person learning. Teachers in the district started getting COVID-19 vaccines last week, so that switch to in-person learning going to be a little safer. Middle and high school students are expected to return to class February 8th. That date will qualify teachers for the $1,500 stipend from the state legislature. And beginning today, you can get a rapid COVID-19 test at the Salt Lake International Airport. Express Check is opening a COVID-19 testing site in Concourse A right after that security checkpoint. Passengers can get rapid molecular tests and standard nasal swab tests. Those rapid test results will come through while travelers are waiting for their flights, but they do cost about $200. Tests are available through Thursdays through Mondays from 9 to 5.
And new this morning, the first presidency and the apostles over the age of 70 for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints have now received the COVID-19 vaccine. President Russell M. Nelson and his wife and other top church leaders all got the shot. The first presidency released a statement on the vaccine saying this, quote, "As appropriate opportunities become available, the church urges its members, employees, and missionaries to be good global citizens and help quell the pandemic by safeguarding themselves and others through immunization."
Intermountain Healthcare has confirmed the UK's COVID-19 variant is here in Utah. They say this new strain is more transmissible than previous variants. One of their physicians says if we continue to wear masks, practice social distancing, and good hygiene, we can help slow the spread of the virus.
We can very clearly see that when we're less careful as a community, we see spikes, and when we hunker down, we can be very successful at controlling viral spread in the community, and that's what we need to do now.
Health experts say the more we practice public health guidelines, the less we have to rely solely on the vaccine.
And we're now learning 70% of Utah's COVID deaths are people 65 and older. Because of this, experts at the University of Utah Health are encouraging older adults to get the vaccine as soon as possible. Doctors say while the first dose provides some layer of protection, it doesn't necessarily mean it's safe to go about life as normal.
I would definitely caution people between the first and second dose to really presume that you have no protection probably.
Now, doctors say peak protection against the virus comes about 7 to 10 days after the second dose. And they say it's important we keep wearing masks and avoid big gatherings until a larger portion of the population is vaccinated.
Let's get to your morning update on the latest COVID-19 numbers in Utah. Our Department of Health reported more than 1,300 new cases yesterday. Our state total now more than 326,000. 172,000 vaccines have been administered. 573 patients are being treated in the hospital right now. 7 more Utahns have died. Our death toll 1,507. Let's take a closer look at our last 7 days. We are averaging more than 2,000 cases per day. That number is declining. Our testing positivity rate also coming down, now 19.9%.
The time now is 6:10, and Utah's 2021 state legislative session got started yesterday, and COVID-19 forcing it to look much different than years past.
Under these far less than ideal circumstances, we should all do our part to protect one another so we can continue to do the work of the people of Utah.
Tuesday's session was mostly virtual. Legislators are expected to discuss the pandemic, tax cuts, police reform bills, as well as a number of other issues.
One of the session's top priorities this year, education funding. Education is our biggest ticket item in the state. It uses nearly half of the state funding every year. It's no coincidence our education base budget was the first thing on our lawmakers' lists.
Base budget should go through fairly easily. We always pass the base budget at the very beginning of the session, so in case the legislature and the governor don't agree on details near the end of the session, that we at least still have a budget.
This year, even with a recession, that budget is big. Legislators say COVID-19 has shown what an important part our schools play in our communities. Policy and funding this year will reflect that.
And in a story you'll only see on ABC4 News, Utah's new legislative session is being blamed for a delay on developing state police reform. An uncovered email showed the Department of Public Safety Commissioner canceled the state's police reform commission meetings, citing busy schedules through March with the legislative session. The commissioner hopes those advocating for police reform will continue those discussions informally. The move has many social justice advocates concerned because they say police reform is top of mind with our recent unrest.
Even though it's a Republican supermajority and they could go in there and vote down every single police reform bill that we have. But if they do that, you know, they're just going to continue to see unrest across the state.
Now, police reform commission meetings are expected to be picked back up in March, but it's unclear how it will be handled under a new leadership.
6:12 now, coming up on Good Morning Utah, a house fire. It's house fire season. We've had 4 in just the last week. Coming up, the Red Cross joins us for a live interview to talk about keeping your home safe from fires. And we're taking a closer look at security in Washington this morning. Former Utah Representative Ben McAdams joins us live from D.C. with what he's seeing there today.
All right, let's check your weather this morning.
Yes.
Erica, I know you got a good one today.
I really do, but look at this really quickly. St. George, it did get some isolated showers, so we're kind of seeing some wet pavement there. But Brian, you are right. Today is going to be so pretty because we do have a weak area of high pressure that's developing. We always like those, but of course we're always monitoring any inversions and poor air quality when we're talking about that ridge of high pressure. But it's a weak one, so we'll be okay. So right now, St. George, you are seeing clearing showers. So you can see here just a little bit wet here on the pavement. Nothing big to talk about here. The winds are diminishing. Additionally, those showers are clearing as well as those clouds. I'm still going to leave you with a mix of sun and clouds for today. Our storm tracker radar, look at this, picking up on those returns. We don't need them right now. Actually, we do need them because of that drought monitor, but I'm just saying it's Wednesday. We are halfway into the weekend. We certainly want to have a great Wednesday in the forecast for Inauguration Day. Look at what's just remaining there. Some greens on the screen. Apart from that, everything is clearing up very nicely. So satellite and radar image picking up on those clouds. This is why I'm going to leave you with a mix of sun and clouds for your Wednesday. However, for the most part, you're going to see a good amount of sunshine farther south. But notice here how everything is clearing out. So what's lingering here, part of San Juan County, Kane County, Washington, Iron County. Apart from that, conditions look really nice. I'm leaving you with plenty of sunshine farther north. Elko County, you guys are going to get great amount of sunshine for today. I'd like to say sunglasses alert, so get ready for that. We have a great Wednesday on tap. So of course, though, I do have to look at your air quality, brought to you by UCare. We love this product. Does a great job telling us what we can expect for your day. Now, we're only going with a one-day forecast, so of course conditions are all about what's going on currently. It looks like we do have some issues, including Utah, Uintah County, Tooele County, Salt Lake County, Box Elder County, Weber County, Carbon County. You guys are looking really good. Iron County and Washington County doing really well as far as air quality goes. But remember, with our weather outlook and a weak ridge of high pressure, we still have to monitor the air quality. So we do have a fair weather Wednesday. In fact, we have a fair weather Thursday in the forecast. It's the second half we're going to be monitoring very closely for you. In the meantime, these temperatures look really good. Delta at 40, Price 29, Provo 17, 24 for Salt Lake City. All right, we got out of the single digits, Logan. We're at 10 right now. Yay. Hanksville 28, 37 for Lake Powell, and 44 for St. George. The wind profile calmer for Logan, but still a little bit stronger for Evanston and Rock Springs at 13 and 17 miles per hour, respectively. Calmer winds farther south, and forecast and high temperatures for today. Lots of sunshine farther north. A mix of sun and clouds farther south. A quick look at your futurecast. We're going to push this out just a few hours there, and we can see here just a couple of clouds start to develop by your Thursday into your Friday. And here is your extended forecast, tracking some precip conditions later this week. And then for the Wasatch Front, we also have precip by the end of the week.
Well, thank you much, Erica. We go now to breaking news in Washington, D.C., where you're seeing the president's helicopter, Marine One, has now just taken off from the White House, where the president is leaving office, heading to Joint Base Andrews there for his final few moments as the 45th president of the United States. He's heading to Mar-a-Lago there, where he'll have the final few hours of his presidency, doing that in basically with his family and maybe other staff for a departure ceremony. But this is the moment you're seeing the president just took off on Marine One from the White House just seconds ago. So the president and First Lady Melania Trump are on board that helicopter, now leaving Washington, D.C. and heading to Florida. Of course, this is that first move where the president, in historical fashion, is not attending his successor's presidential inauguration. Something that hasn't happened here in America for many, many years, many decades, in fact. So looking at this image this morning, this is 8 o'clock Washington time. We'll, of course, follow what's happening with the presidential inauguration throughout the day, but you're watching this live here where President Trump is now leaving office. It's the first step we're seeing for those proceedings beginning today, where we'll see President-elect Joe Biden taking the oath of office in about 6 hours from now, less than 6 hours from this time. So take a look at that here this morning. Of course, we'll continue to follow that for you here on Good Morning Utah.
A fire destroyed a house in Sandy, leaving a family without a home just yesterday. Crews say when they arrived, the house fully engulfed in flames. Fortunately, everyone inside was able to get out. Crews believe the fire began in the basement. The house, though, a total loss. You can see images there. Firefighters say it's a good reminder to keep flammable items away from space heaters. Unfortunately, house fires like these happen way too often. It's just one of 4 fires in just the last week. They are preventable, though. Joining me this morning to give us some fire safety tips, Tim Tincher from the Utah Red Cross. Tim, so good to meet you. Thanks for being here this morning.
Yeah, good morning. Hi.
We're excited to talk about these tips. It's something I think we get a little desensitized to, but they're so important. We all love our space heater. They make us feel comfy, but they can be really dangerous.
Yeah, definitely. I think like a really good thing to remember with stuff like space heaters or those fireplaces are you want that good like 3 feet of distance between any like household items like curtains or like any fabrics, anything that would be susceptible to catching fire. You want to keep those away from those items that keep us warm.
3 feet, which feels, I mean, it feels longer than you think it is. You know what I mean? You want to keep it away from everything. Can we talk about pets too? I think that we all love our pets and we have them around. Are those something you're seeing that are kind of sparking those things?
Yeah, you just want to make sure that pets especially are able to, you're keeping them part of your plan as you prepare for like fire safety, and also just making sure like that they are away from fire hazards. Like you want to make sure that pets aren't going to be getting caught like near space heaters or tripping over the wires that hook them together, or like electric blankets, and pets aren't really a good mix, stuff like that. Yeah.
Right. Let's go back to fireplaces. Anything you'd recommend for fireplaces?
Yeah, definitely. You just want to make sure that you're never leaving them unattended, or you don't want to go to bed with them still running. That's always like number 1 for sure. And just like with space heaters, you want to keep that 3 feet as well, just to make sure stuff's not going to catch fire.
Got it. Okay. So I mean, fires and these kinds of house fires they keep you guys busy this time of year.
Yeah.
Can you walk me through what the Red Cross does in these fire situations?
Yeah, definitely. We've definitely seen an increase in fires over the last week. I think we've responded to 4 home fires in the area.
Incredible.
Yeah. So this is a time, especially during like COVID-19, where we have to adapt our procedures to respond to these fires virtually. We always want to be able to help and reach out to these families that are affected and give them the care that they need to get through a crisis like this. Yeah.
You guys have an amazing app that has tons of resources and ways to prepare. What should people do to kind of prepare now for that possibility of a fire at home?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really important to, first of all, always get like a kit of emergency supplies, a go bag. Always remember to keep into account like your medications if you need to get out of the house. Another really important thing is making that fire escape plan. Make sure every member of your family is able to get out of the house in under 2 minutes. That's about as much time as most families get to be able to get out safely.
Tim Tincher with the Utah Red Cross. So good to meet you. Thanks for being here this morning. Great reminders. We'll have all of these links on our website too, abc4.com. Good morning, Utah. We'll be back right after this.
Time now for your weather on the 4s.
Good Wednesday morning. We do have a kind of warm start for some of you. St. George 44 degrees. We have Provo at 17, Salt Lake City 24, Ogden 23, Logan 10 degrees. At least you're out of that single digit zone. Provo, you're going to warm up nicely today. Lots of sunshine in the forecast. Quickly want to show you our future cast. Everything clearing right now. We are seeing developing clouds by tomorrow. Today is still my pick of the week. Lots of sunshine in the forecast. I'm going with mostly sunny for your Thursday. Developing clouds later on Thursday into Friday as we track a storm system that's going to clip us to the north. We'll keep you updated on that. So we do have a more active weather pattern for the end of this week into this upcoming weekend. Now we did have a traffic flow incident earlier this morning, and right now conditions are green. They're looking really good right now. No problems out here. Back to you.
Thank you much, Erica. The time now is 6:26. Jennifer Lopez is one of the many stars performing at today's presidential inauguration. And the NFL is announcing who'll sing the national anthem at this year's Super Bowl. For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Rena Roy.
In the last 12 months, Jennifer Lopez has performed before millions at the Super Bowl, on New Year's Rockin' Eve, and today the inauguration of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. While she's been a superstar for decades, her fiancé Alex Rodriguez revealed that today's inaugural performance has Lopez a little nervous. Rodriguez says J-Lo really wants to bring people together with her music.
It's the Muppet Show!
Starting next month, all 5 seasons of The Muppet Show will be available to stream on Disney+. Created by the legendary Jim Henson, The Muppet Show was a half-hour variety show featuring Kermit the Frog as the host. The series originally aired from 1976 to 1981. And finally, the NFL announced that R&B star Jasmine Sullivan and country singer Eric Church will be singing the national anthem in Tampa at the Super Bowl.
It ain't easy putting up with.
Grammy-winning singer Her will perform America the Beautiful.
If I let you, don't take me for granted.
Smile. No. I never smile if I can help it. Showing one's teeth is a submission signal in primates.
The Office star Rainn Wilson turns 55 today, and Bill Maher is 65.
I've been on a bit of a news diet. Anything big happen?
And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Rena Roy, ABC News.
It's an interesting moment there.
Definitely. Lots of artists coming together. It's going to be a great ceremony. It's so interesting how they're making it safe as well.
As they should.
All right, still ahead on Good Morning Utah, President Trump delivering his farewell address last night. Hear his message to President-elect Joe Biden. Plus, security on standby in our nation's capital. Former Representative Ben McAdams gives us a live update from D.C. after the break. And as we head out, here is a look. President Trump landing at Joint Base Andrews. Here we are seeing that flight land here this morning, a final ceremony for the president before he heads to Mar-a-Lago. Coming up after the break, more of your weather on the 4s and inauguration coverage.
Live from Utah's first TV station, Good Morning Utah at 6:30 starts now.
Good morning, Utah. I'm Sarah Martin.
And I'm Brian Carlson. The time 6:31 on this Wednesday.
We begin with the inauguration. Our nation's capital in lockdown this morning. The acting attorney general reiterating there will be a peaceful transfer of power today. And the Justice Department will not tolerate anyone who tries to harm the day. Before heading off to Washington, D.C., Biden choked up as he spoke at the National Guard Reserve Center named for his late son, Beau.
I only have one regret. He's not here, because we should be introducing him as president. But we have great opportunities.
Before Biden's inauguration, though, security experts' biggest fears have come true. A defense official confirms they found 2 Army National Guard members assigned to the inauguration with ties to far-right groups. Both have been removed from inauguration security and are under investigation.
Here in Utah, state leaders are preparing for possible protests surrounding today's inauguration. So what can we expect? For that, ABC4's Jared Giattinini is live at our state capitol with the story. Good morning, Jared.
Good morning. Well, we always have increased security here at the Capitol during the first week of the session, but due to the governor's executive order, we have UHP and the Utah National Guard on standby should Biden's inauguration spark protest here. Now, take a look at this video from over the weekend from a smaller demonstration, people gathering there in front of the Capitol. Officials say they're preparing for armed protests this afternoon, which are planned at all 50 state capitals from Utah to Washington, D.C. There is heightened security. Again, local law enforcement agencies are preparing for armed protests. Now, as Biden gets sworn in, President Trump could still be impeached. The House set to deliver articles of impeachment to the Senate any day now. During an ABC4 News town hall with Utah Senator Mitt Romney and Representative Chris Stewart, we talked about their votes to impeach the president.
We're talking about a president who's, at the time of impeachment, he had less than a week in office.
I will look at the evidence that's presented. I will review in some depth the briefs and get legal counsel from my staff. And I will make a decision consistent with the oath, which I will be required to take, which is to render impartial justice.
Now, again, it is Inauguration Day in D.C. Still unclear on Senator Mitt Romney's schedule, but Representative Stewart will not be attending. He says that he and his wife were exposed to COVID-19. They are in good health, but are taking necessary precautions. Now, still a lot of uncertainty regarding what will happen here at the Utah State Capitol. There is, again, heightened security, and Utah Highway Patrol says a lot of the extra safety measures that were implemented during this past week could be extended into the future. Coming up next, we will have more from Senator Romney and Representative Stewart about what they think plans will look like once Biden is sworn in. Reporting live, Jared Giattinini, ABC4 News.
All right, thank you, Jared. Leading up to today's inauguration, President Donald Trump delivered his farewell address last night.
This week, we inaugurate a new administration and pray for its success in keeping America safe and prosperous.
In that pre-recorded video, President Trump also praised what he sees as his top achievements in office, including his efforts to normalize relations in the Middle East.
Of course, the time now is 6:34. The president has now just landed at Joint Base Andrews there ahead of a farewell ceremony for President Donald Trump. We'll take you a live look right now where the president just landed seconds ago. This is a live look as he has arrived from Marine One with the First Lady, Melania Trump. He's now getting a 21-gun salute as in his final farewell to our 45th president. The president breaking with more than a century of tradition by not attending the swearing in of his successor, President-elect Joe Biden. Instead, he's having this brief ceremony there at Joint Base Andrews. Let's listen to the president.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, live look or expected temperatures for today ranging from the 30s for Logan, 36 for Delta, 42 for Cedar City, and 59 for St. George. Plenty of sunshine, especially for those of us in central northern Utah, Elko, White Pine County, Idaho, and Wyoming. Coming up, we're going to talk more about your expected high temperatures for today and your air quality. And of course, we'll keep you updated on traffic. Back to you.
All right, thank you much, Erica. Now, ahead of today's inauguration for President-elect Joe Biden, Washington, D.C. is seeing an unprecedented security presence. The Capitol is now surrounded with armed members of the National Guard, extensive barricades, and checkpoints. 25,000 soldiers are on standby to ensure a peaceful transfer of power. That security presence is making today's inauguration unlike anything we've seen before. We're getting a first-hand account from a Utah politician who will be there this morning. Joining us live from Washington is former Utah Congressman Ben McAdams. Congressman, thanks for being with us here today. I understand you're attending today's inauguration.
That's right, Brian. Great to see you. I'm here in Washington, just arriving at the Capitol, preparing to go through security. They have this place locked down. It looks, we've got great safety protocols that are in place. Men and women, both Capitol police officers, National Guard, who are here to make sure that everybody's safe and things go off well today.
So we hope it goes off as well. Where will you be when President-elect Joe Biden takes the oath of office?
Yeah, from what I understand, there's very limited attendance at the inauguration today, both due to COVID and due to the security concerns. So I'm told there's about 1,000 people who will attend, mostly members of Congress and the guests, and then former members of Congress who are invited. So we will be joining the ceremony on the west steps of the Capitol with everyone else and be witnessing the ceremony then. And, you can see behind me the fencing that they put up around the Capitol to make sure that it is safe. There are no incidences like we saw a couple of weeks ago. And we're feeling, my wife was with me, we're feeling pretty good about the safety precautions that have been taken.
It's quite remarkable. We're getting a good signal from your cell phone there. You mentioned the security. Can you show us what you're seeing there with your phone?
Yeah, so what we're seeing here, let me you can see some of the guard behind me here. I want to be careful to not show too much and compromise any of the security in the area. So maybe I'll just describe it. But you can see there's fencing all around the Capitol. They've expanded the security perimeter to include the House office buildings and the Senate office buildings. So even to get where we are today, we had to show credentials and to pass one security checkpoint. And then there's another one that we have to go through before we're allowed to enter the Capitol grounds. There are, as I said, Capitol Police and National Guard everywhere around the complex to just make sure that everybody's safe. They've also shut down bridges into the cities and other modes to get into the city, and transit in the immediate vicinity of the Capitol. Those transit stops are closed, so we had to walk here. From what I can tell, they've taken every precaution to make sure this event is safe and goes off without a hitch.
What's it like to see the inauguration fortified in this way?
It's both comforting to know that we will be safe and that we have the men and women in uniform here to protect us, but it's also, I have to say, sad that this is required. This is intended to be a day of celebration where we celebrate democracy. It is not without some hardship for people who are whose candidate did not win. I know myself, as someone who was not successful in my election, that call I made to my opponent to congratulate him on his election victory is one of the hardest calls I've made in my life. And so I know that for many Americans today whose candidate did not prevail, it's with some sadness. But this is also a time to celebrate democracy and the peaceful transfer of power and how what prevails in our country is an election and democracy. And to see that this is what's necessary today is honestly sad. That we have the concerns about violence with the insurrection that we saw 2 weeks ago, and the threats that continue to this day, not only here in Washington but in 50 states across the country. It's sad, and I have to say, I think we are better. We need to be better than this as Americans. And this is a time that even if your side, your party, your candidate did not prevail, this is where we celebrate democracy and that we come together as Americans to put our country first and to then work together to govern and to solve the challenges that we face. And the challenges we face today are great.
And as you mentioned, you've seen both sides of this issue before. President, of course, has moved out from the White House. We're now expected to see the president-elect take that oath of office in a matter of hours here today. Great to talk with you here this morning. Former Congressman Ben McAdams, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, 6:40 now. Coming up on Good Morning Utah, we've got continuing coverage of the inauguration. After the break, we'll talk with the Hinckley Institute of Politics about what we can expect from Biden's first 100 days.
Time now for Utah's most accurate forecast with Erica Martine. Weather rate certified 9 years in a row.
All right, let's check your weather. Erica,
Hello.
what's on tap today?
Well, we have a really nice Wednesday in the forecast, so I'm excited about that. Lots of sunshine for your Wednesday, Brian. So I'd say after the show, get on out there and get your cardio in outside and enjoy. And the good news is, at least in Salt Lake County, we're going to see good air quality. Tooele County, Box Elder having some issues for Utah County and Uinta County. I'll show you in just one moment, but I do want to focus on a few things. We have a little piece of energy, a trough that's cutting across Lincoln County into Sublette County and parts of Sweetwater County as well in southwestern Wyoming. So it's kicking up the wind speeds here. We're seeing wind profile anywhere between about 10 to 20 miles per hour. But as a weak ridge of high pressure continues to develop, I promise you those winds are diminishing and we have lots of sunshine in store. Farther south, we are tracking clearing skies here. This is just the remnant moisture that lingered from what we saw yesterday, late yesterday through the overnight hours. We still saw some isolated showers early this morning for St. George. Now, in the meantime, our colonial flag not doing much right now, and yes, the weather ball is red. We do have a warmer day ahead for today and for tomorrow. We're going to stay in the 40s through Friday, but we're tracking a much different weather pattern starting Friday into Saturday and Sunday. So a heads up right now. Colonial flag looking so nice, but really not doing too much because of the winds. Now, St. George, this is what we're looking at. Isolated showers. You can see that the pavement is wet. Good news because we certainly could use that rain farther south, but apart from that, conditions are pretty fair weather, all thanks to this weak ridge of high pressure. There it is. It's building, not doing too much, but at least it's going to keep conditions pretty nice for today. A mix of sun and clouds farther south and those clearing showers. Here's a look at your air quality update brought to you by UCare. Thank you so much. We are seeing much better conditions for so many of us, including Carbon County, Washington, and Iron County. So enjoy the day. But those of you in that yellow zone, moderate, please be aware of that. Current temperature right now for Lake Powell, 37 degrees, 44 for St. George, Cedar City 26, Milford 18, and Delta nice and warm at 40, Provo 17, Salt Lake City 24. So our futurecast, I'm kicking this out 60 hours. We can see here not much going on for today. Clouds developing later today as a system moves just to the north of us, filling in the cloud coverage by Thursday night into Friday. And of course, we'll be tracking some precip, as I said, because we do have active weather later this week. A mix of sun and clouds for today, tracking some precip by the end of the week. And it looks like we could see some isolated snow showers by Saturday. Be sure you go ahead and take that thumb, click on over to CW30. We'll see you there at 7 a.m. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Erica. We do have breaking news now. We are watching as President Donald Trump makes his final acts in office. He is at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland right now, walking on to Marine Corps One. Actually, it looks like he's walking to Air Force One in order to fly to Mar-a-Lago down in Florida. He's just addressed a crowd there again at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland. His last act as 45th President of the United States. He and his family, some of his staff members, now going to Air Force One, headed to Mar-a-Lago. He will not be attending today's inauguration ceremony. Again, we're watching the 45th President of the United States, President Donald Trump, walking to Air Force One now. He's just spoken at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland. His last remarks, his last speech before leaving office today. We're just hours away from the inauguration ceremony of the 46th President, Joe Biden, to be sworn in hours from now in Washington, D.C. President Donald Trump boarding Air Force One with his wife, Melania, at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland. They are headed to Mar-a-Lago. Making history here, more than 150 years of American history. Every president has attended the inauguration of his successor. This is not happening today. President Donald Trump there waving to the crowd at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland. And we're seeing the president and his wife boarding Air Force One. They're heading off now just hours before the inauguration ceremony in Washington, D.C. from Joint Base Andrews now, headed to Mar-a-Lago. All right, today, Inauguration Day, President-elect Joe Biden, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris will take their oaths of office at 10 a.m. local time, the start of the 46th presidency. In his 20-minute speech, Biden expected to lay out his goals to unite the country in a time of unprecedented crisis. Here to help us break it down, what's in store for today and beyond, Morgan Lyon-Cotti, the Associate Director of the Hinckley Institute of Politics at our University of Utah. Morgan, thanks so much for being with us. We're looking ahead to 46 today, but can we start with 45? We just saw President Trump board Air Force One. What's the significance of the president not attending the inauguration ceremony today?
He joins a very small group of individuals, former presidents, who did not attend their successors' inaugurations. And the optics of this are so unusual because we are, especially in the age of television, we are used to seeing that bipartisan group of presidents and former presidents and leaders watch the next inaugurations, wave goodbye to them as they leave the Capitol. But here, President Trump boarded Air Force One. That's not something we've seen before on his way out. Normally they take a government plane or another private plane. So it's significant, and especially for the disunity that we see in our country right now, it's emblematic of that as well.
Certainly. The Hinckley Center and the Deseret News polled Utahns, found that about 52% of our state does hold President Trump at least somewhat responsible for the riots we saw at the Capitol. What does that tell you right now about how Utahns will adapt to this transition of power?
I think Utahns will be watching the inauguration very closely, and if the Senate takes up the impeachment and conviction, I think they'll watch that trial very closely. I think they'll be listening to what President-elect still Biden says and what the leaders say. We talked a couple weeks ago about how we move forward from here, how we find that unity. And again, I think a lot of people are going to be looking to leaders to see how they react and how they address the Capitol riot 2 weeks ago and how they're trying to move forward.
Mm-hmm. Can we talk about President-elect Biden's first 100 days? What major moves are you looking for?
We're going to see a lot of executive orders today. It seems to become a new tradition that in the first day or week of a new president, they're implementing executive orders that are often undoing what the previous president did. The first 100 days are so critical to secure those cabinet positions, get those through the Senate. But I'm really watching this first year and these first 2 years when the Democrats have control of the Senate and Congress to see what kind of signature legislation that the Biden administration will try to push through.
Very interesting, very interesting. And as you said, I mean, pulling back some of those moves from the former president. Can we talk a little bit about just Inauguration Day? Is there a part of Inauguration Day that you focus most on? Lots of pomp and circumstance today, but if we could kind of wade through that, what do you feel like is the most important part of this historic day?
Honestly, for me, the most important part and the part that I love the most is just seeing the Capitol draped in those American flags and seeing those stands full of members of Congress, of family, of friends. And it really is supposed to be this unifying bipartisan day when everyone is watching. There's often symbols and interesting things to see. What are people wearing? Who are the celebrities that are there? Who reads the poem? Who writes the music? But just really seeing that group of leaders getting together, ushering in this constitutional and democratic process. That's really my favorite part.
It's going to be quite the day. Morgan Lyon-Cotti from the Hinckley Institute of Politics. Morgan, thank you so much for your insight. We really value you. Have a great one.
Thank you. You as well.
The time now is 6:52. We do have some business news for you this morning. Airlines are starting to hire pilots again after major losses in 2020. And Ford is recalling millions of cars over an airbag safety concern. Here's your Good Morning Utah business report. Signs of hope at some airlines that travel is going to rebound as more people get the coronavirus shot. Some are starting to hire more pilots. PSA Airlines, a subsidiary of American, and Frontier Airlines both say they plan to resume hiring this year. And for the first time ever, Netflix can now boast over 200 million subscribers. That's thanks to the 37 million new subscribers who signed up last year as the coronavirus pandemic started to keep people at home. Fourth quarter revenues also topped $6.5 billion. Plus, Microsoft is driving into the driverless car market. It's reached an agreement to invest in a Cruise, a driverless car company that GM bought 5 years ago. Along with money, Microsoft will add computing power to the partnership, backing driverless cars with its cloud technology. And finally, Ford is being ordered to recall 3 million cars over suspect airbags. The recall covers various models from the 2006 to 2012 model years, all with Takata airbags installed. That company's airbags are blamed in the deaths of at least 27 people. And that's your Good Morning Utah Business Report. The time now is 6:53. And new overnight, the Salt Lake City School District voted to send high school and middle school students back to the classroom. The 5-hour-long meeting ended last night with the school board voting 6-1 to return to in-person learning. Teachers in the district began receiving COVID-19 vaccines last week, making the switch to in-person learning safer. Middle and high school students are expected to return to class February 8th.
And beginning today, you can get a rapid COVID-19 test at the Salt Lake International Airport while you're waiting for your flight. Express Check is opening a COVID-19 testing site in Concourse A right after the security checkpoint. Passengers can get rapid molecular tests and standard nasal swabs. Those rapid test results will come through while you're waiting for your flight. They do cost about $200 though. Tests are available Thursdays through Mondays from 9 to 5. Pretty convenient if you're headed to the airport.
And if you're headed to the airport, what's the weather look like today?
No problems for today as SLC International Airport, a gorgeous day on tap. Let's take a look at what we have going on for our extended forecast. St. George, your clouds are clearing up. I'm still going to leave you with a mix of sun and clouds. Showers also clearing, increasing cloud coverage by Friday, Saturday. Tracking a system that looks like it's going to bring us some precip. We can all use it, so I think we're okay. Today is what we call red letter day. Absolutely gorgeous out there. Lots of sunshine. Enjoy. 46 is your high. Upper 40s by tomorrow. And well, I-80 westbound Park City. This is, oh, there you go. 32 minutes. I was like 0. That's kind of like bewitched. You'll just be right there, right on time. I-15 southbound Cedar City to St. George, 45 degrees, and northbound St. George to Cedar City, 50 minutes. So right now, drive times are looking a little bit slower. I-15 northbound from St. George to Cedar City. Apart from that, it looks pretty good out there. Back to you, Sarah.
Nice. Thanks, Erica. Don't forget, we would love to see your baby photos. We love celebrating with your family. To celebrate, just email us news@abc4.com. A photo of your little one, a fun fact about them. We love kids. We also love, embarrassing people that are your age too. So whoever, we love them. Email them in.
We just like them.
Or maybe you like this. If you like Oreos, check out what Pillsbury's now got. They've got a new funfetti line. It's vanilla cake mix combined with Oreos. You can do a lot of different things with it. So
delicious.
You've got a brownie mix is one. They've got a pancake waffle mix. That's another one. You've also got chocolate cake mixes as well, all infused with Oreos.
Okay, I put like chocolate chips and fruit in my pancakes. Why have I never thought to put an Oreo in a pancake?
That's what I'm saying. Expand your horizons.
They expanded this morning.
I am doing this, you guys. I cannot wait.
When you go, let me ask you a question. When you go get like a shake somewhere, do you get the Oreo shake?
Oh, they're always the best.
I'm really boring. I do vanilla.
All right,
I'm only vanilla ice cream.
You've got some room to grow there.
I'm going to develop, yes,
right?
evolve.
I always do mint Oreo because that's the best, flavor combination in the world.
I love it.
So now you can take your kind of vanilla pancakes, maybe your vanilla, brownie mix, and then add that and step it up a notch.
You guys, I'm ready to do this. I think we have to do it and bring it into work to save.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great cooking segment. I'm down.
And to further celebrate Funfetti, they're going to be hosting a baking competition judged by a celebrity pastry chef. And if you want to get in on that, you can register online now through Tuesday.
Nice.
So if you're thinking, okay, not only do I like tasting it, but I can work with this. I can do something.
I can win some money.
I love it.
Thanks for making us part of your morning.
More local news coming up on Utah's CW30, continuing inauguration coverage all day long.